Hello, everybody. Happy
Hey.
Wednesday. We are back with another edition of Paranormal Tea Time. I'm Nicole. I'm joined by my co host, Stephanie.
Here I am, live and
And,
in person.
and today we have an awesome guest. She's so much fun. Natalie Smearman from Relic Films, among many, many other
Hello,
things
everybody.
that you have going on. So you have Relic
Yeah.
Films, you have Blonde and Booze.
Yes. Yep.
You are
And Paranormal Among Us.
Yes, Paranormal Among Us with Paranormal Paul, who is with us.
Yes. So we have a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, I actually guested on your show, and it was a really good time. Like, you guys have fun. I love the banter back and forth.
Yeah, we are like brother and sister, and we constantly harass each other. So we have a good time. Really good time.
I love that. I love that because I have the same like dynamic with Andy. Me and Stephanie are more like nice and boosting each other up, and then me and Andy are like, "You suck." Like, no, you suck, but in like the best way possible.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Relic Films and how you got started with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So Relic Films got started with them in the beginning of 2025. And it started with me talking to Adam Davis. And I met him at a conference. And he was so kind and just very forthcoming, great stories he had and experiences. And I was doing my own research, and he called me up and he said, listen, we're filming a film about cases out of the mountains. And can you be in the Smoky Mountains in 2 weeks to film with us? I'm going, oh, okay, 2 weeks. So I had to, of course, put in PTO, and I was in the Smoky Mountains in 2 weeks, and we were filming. And Greg Ogles, who owns Relic Films, he's also the producer and director. He and I hit it off immediately. So we were just like a family. And at the end of filming that week, we sat down and he said, this was a great experience. What did you think? I'm like, I had the time of my life. Oh my gosh. And so they're like, would you like to join us on future films and partner with Adam? I said, absolutely. So now Adam and I are the main people in each film. And then we have certain people that will come in, whether it be a group or a single individual, and we'll do cryptid investigations or paranormal investigations or high strangeness investigations of whatever that means. And so now we have a film out right now called The Vanished, and that was what we filmed last year. And it's so amazing because we caught some really cool things. Because when we went to investigate, we went in for night investigations, day investigations, and we didn't know what we were going to find. And then all of a sudden, we're finding orbs and disembodied voices and shadows and metal knocking in the middle of the forest with these flashes of light. And then we found this blob entity, and we caught all of this on film. And we didn't know what it was. And we had to bring in additional experts because we're like, what is this? Well, turns out a Cherokee legend, this entity would come in and steal people. And we caught it on film. And so it's just an amazing film. I know I'm a little biased, but this is incredible what we caught. And nothing is staged, nothing is set up. There is no script. It is all out there. What we investigate, what we catch is what you see.
I love that.
That's incredible.
Most things are like, okay, this is Bigfoot, this is ghosts, but you kind of cover everything, like Cherokee legends and folklore.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Very much so. And anything that is of the strange and unusual that you really can't explain is what we investigate. Mm-hmm. Whatever that may be.
So Steffi and I share a favorite folklore-ish entity, I guess you would say. We are both very big fans of the puck wedgies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes,
I
have.
grew up hearing about them in Alaska. I literally did not pay any attention to these. I just thought it was native folklore, And they're like, oh, they're 3 feet and under. They live in the trees. They'll stab you with a spear, throw you off a cliff, and eat your children. So I'm just like, yeah, right. And then I'd always been into the ghosts, obviously, but not so much that part. And then I moved here to New York. For a while, I was working at the Pine Bush UFO Museum, and we put in a Pukwudgie exhibit. And I had so many people from all over the world come in and talk about these Pukwudgies. And I think like in Mexico, they call it a duende. I had somebody from Cambodia. I had someone from Iceland. They all have the same kind of a creature. And let me backtrack just a smidge. When I first moved here, I was doing an investigation at the haunted Hinsdale house up near Buffalo. And we were up at the offering tree, and there was a Native American man, and he was doing this chanting. And I asked him the significance of it, and he actually said that it was to appease the Pukwudgies. And the second he said that, I was like, "What?" So then I'm like, "Well, this is obviously a worldwide thing, Like how crazy is that?" So.
Yeah, and you hear about this. To your point, you hear about these entities that are not just in a small area, they're worldwide. They have a version of it throughout the world. So there's some significance there. There's not just, oh, it's just a rumor or somebody's parent just didn't want you to go out in the woods at night. It's really there's something there. There's something more to it.
Exactly.
And I love stories like that.
It's pretty neat.
Love it.
And I had, it kind of makes you more of a believer when you start hearing it from X, Y, and Z that have nothing to do with each other. When everybody has the same experiences, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Am I in another dimension? Am I glitching?
No, actually, you've been fine. So I don't know. Maybe we're all in another dimension together.
I'm all about different dimensions and studying that, because in my world, I have, like 2 years ago, I could tell you, if you asked me what is a Bigfoot, I would say it is a primate of some sort that is hidden in the forest, and they have great camouflage. You ask me now, they're an interdimensional being that has powers and has these abilities that I cannot explain. Just because of what I have witnessed, what I have studied, what I have seen, and the things that I have experienced are not explainable.
It totally makes sense.
I mean, you have I had a 9-foot Bigfoot, massive creature, just stout, the barrel of the chest and just muscles, walked behind my truck and disappeared like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that happen?
That's the part of the big debate here with Bigfoot. And so the earliest known sighting of Bigfoot in New York, or at least the Hudson Valley, is in 1604. And the big debate is if they're biological versus paranormal versus interdimensional versus extraterrestrial. Everybody has their own varying opinion on it. I think they're biological, but I also think that they have to be interdimensional. So.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And because, we've had a lot of interactions with them out in the field, and they're very curious creatures. They are not violent in nature. At any given time, they could have snapped our necks in a matter of seconds, and they chose not to.
You look at all the stories of like, kids in particular that go missing, and when they're found, they're completely unharmed, and they're like, oh, a big bear was bringing me berries. Well, if you've got a 2 to 5 year old, what else are they going to call it? They don't know what a Bigfoot is. They're going to call it a big bear. And if you kind of look at some of the videos of like kids falling into gorilla enclosures, what does the lead gorilla do? It goes over, picks up the child, and protects it from all the others until help arrives. So I think I think there's evolutionary wise, I have to wonder, like, is it somewhere along the lines of that as well? So.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. A friend of mine had that happen with his dog, little dog, partially blind, went missing for 19 days.
Oh my gosh.
The neighbor started screaming at them and going, "We found your dog." And he's thinking, "Okay, you found it." They're like, "No." They got down to the creek bed. It was on a sandbar, just standing there, wagging his tail. No paw prints on the sandbar.
Wow.
And his whole property is filled with paranormal and cryptid activity.
Yeah.
And so every time that the dog is outside with them now, and they catch that scent or hear something in the distance, that dog starts wagging his tail.
Wow.
That's pretty neat.
So it's like,
That's awesome.
yeah, and the dog gained 2 pounds after 19 days being and it's just a little tiny
Oh my
dog.
God. Do you think like a little baby Bigfoot like brought it home and was like, "Can we keep him?" And his parents were like, "No."
I know. Can you
Where you
imagine?
got it.
Yeah, like, no. Well, come on, Mom.
That's what I have in my head right now. It's just baby Bigfoot. Like, "Can I keep him?"
Please. Yeah, you know that's happening. And they're like, "Oh." And the mom's like, "Well," and the dad's like, "No."
Yeah.
Not another mouth to feed.
Oh, the
Well,
poor
for this
little
dog to
doggy
be
was
missing that long, like somebody was feeding it. So
Mhm.
I know. And there's nobody else around. And the fact that dog appeared on a sandbar
Yeah.
and there was no paw
Yeah, it had to
prints
be
on the
placed there.
sandbar.
close to the water, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
See, that's a part of it. When like these children that go missing, like if you've probably heard of the missing 411.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
when these children get found, they're like standing in water up to their knees. So
Yeah.
they probably don't want to leave the dog up to their knees in the water, so they're putting on a sandbar.
No, because it was a little
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it fascinates me because I just find Bigfoot just incredibly fascinating. That's why I keep going out and investigating,
Yeah.
investigating. But we've come across some other creatures as well that weren't as nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really kind of a hit and a miss. I always carry bear spray with me.
Good.
I do not carry any pews with me because I never, ever, ever want to hurt anything, no matter what it is. And so I have my bear spray, which has saved me twice. And that's all that I carry.
Yeah.
All right, we have a couple quick questions in here before I lose them. Have you done any investigating in the Galeville airport?
No, I have not. Galeville Airport. Wonder where that's at.
I would assume it's in Galeville, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Galeville.
I don't know. Does it have
somewhere?
Galeville Airport. That is in. I don't know. Gainesville is the only thing that's coming up when I search Galeville. Where is that? And is it reported to have activity?
I don't know. I mean, I know there's a Gainesville here in Florida, and that's close to the Ocala National Forest. And I've done a lot of investigating in there, and there's a lot of activity in there. And actually, yeah, because the U.S. government actually purchased a piece of land in the Ocala National Forest that there's nothing on. You're not allowed on it. And we walked there in the middle of the night. Now there's a river separating it. And you heard whoops and wood knocks and screams on the other side. And we couldn't get over there because you're not allowed on the property.
That almost makes
So
me wonder, is it government experiment? Oh, we're going to do this again, camera. Like government experiment kind of thing, where are they putting these like dogmen, Bigfoot kind of things out there or experimenting with portals? Like, what are they doing that all this stuff is
That's a great
happening around their
question.
land?
There's a rumor that they purchased these pieces of land when a nest is found. So the nest is protected. And I can't confirm that. That's just a rumor. I hope that is the case, that they are protecting these creatures. I do know that land has been purchased in Oregon and Washington State where nests have been found. And even the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State has stopped any and all construction until I believe the 10-year mark is almost up. And the Olympic project was investigating nesting sites in and around that area before any investigation started or any construction started.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
I was watching Paranormal Caught on Camera today, and there was a gentleman that he lives somewhere, I guess, in the Everglades. And he said
Mhm.
as a child, even he's been seeing what they call the skunk ape. He said it has
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
extreme pungent smell. And he made that comment at the very end of his clip, you know, because he had some good clips of what he's seen.
Yeah.
But he made that comment that he's trying to get the government involved to like protect the land so that these
Mhm.
things will have a place to live. I found that pretty interesting for somebody to actually say that. I've
Yeah.
never heard someone say that before.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Dave Shealy, who lives in down there and has a lot of property, and he has the Skunk Ape Museum, and he also has a big area that you can go camping on. He has been living down there his whole life, and he is partnering with the Miccosukee and Seminole Indian
Okay.
tribes in the area. And so he has been trying to work with the government along with Betty Osceola, who is of the Miccosukee tribe, to, stop any, construction, really preserve the area because they weren't for a long time. And now they're getting a lot more headway. So
Yeah.
it's a nice area. I did a solo camp down there
Boy.
and had a Florida panther come into my
Oh
camp
no.
in the middle of the night. And it was a male Florida panther in heat.
Oh no, no,
Oh
no.
no.
I was like, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's scarier than like encountering a cryptid is like a wild, dangerous animal or a crazy
Mhm.
person in the woods that you might come across. Like it's like the man
Yeah.
versus bear thing, but it's Bigfoot versus man,
Or skunk ape.
Yeah.
right?
Versus me.
Yeah. And the skunk apes, I have not seen a skunk
Mhm.
ape. I've seen a Bigfoot. And the skunk apes, the people that I have talked to say that they're skinnier.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
understandable.
he said this where a
Where they're
Bigfoot
at,
would be like 9 feet, 10 feet. He said this skunk ape was
Mhm.
about 7 feet.
Correct. And it's hot. It's the swamp. There's a lot of predators down there. So you've got alligators, crocodiles, you've got the Florida panthers, you've got wild boar, you've got bears, and then you've got the pythons and the boas. You've got a plethora of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So food sources are a little scarce when you put all those things together.
Yeah.
Right, before we lose this again, I know it's a little bit off topic, but it's getting buried in the chat. So we were talking about like Bigfoot being interdimensional. Do you think corgis, extraterrestrial are interdimensional as well? Do you think there's related in any way?
I absolutely do. I believe extraterrestrials can manipulate energy to go interdimensional. Many times we have heard about reports of seeing a Bigfoot, and then all of a sudden you see a UFO.
Yes.
You see Bigfoot, they turn into an orb and disappear. You hear about these things being related.
Mhm.
There is a place in Missouri, just west of St. Louis, called Emmaus. And it's the abandoned asylum. And if you can imagine, there's this abandoned asylum, which is wildly haunted. And all around it is nothing but forest, maybe a couple little houses just peppered. And it's in a giant bowl, like there's hills all around. You've got paranormal stuff happening at the asylum. You've got cryptids, both Dogman and Bigfoot were sighted around there, which I got a Dogman print right out of there. And you've got UFO sightings all in the same area. So
Yeah.
you can go to one place and it's like the triple threat. You can see everything.
Yeah. I've heard reports where people say if, when they've encountered Bigfoot, they've seen the blue or green light in the woods, and then there's usually a UFO sighting as well. So that's like even here in the Hudson Valley in New York. So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I do absolutely believe it's all related, and they can go interdimensional. And seeing firsthand them just disappearing like that, and seeing orbs and having orbs interact with us, there's so much more to our world than what we just know.
Yeah.
I agree. Somebody said in the chat, Anthony said the Bigfoot uses the trees and they turn into orbs of different colors. So
Absolutely.
I haven't heard that one before, but that is interesting that it's actually the Bigfoot turning into the orbs.
Yep. I absolutely believe that. I have seen red orbs,
Ooh.
which every red orb I have ever encountered has almost been like a guard. They are on a path watching us. And I truly believe that those are the Bigfoot watching, because right before I saw that Bigfoot walk, I saw 2 red orbs. And then I looked and I looked again, and that's when I saw the Bigfoot walk. And I'm like, those orbs weren't there anymore.
Wow. I've never seen a red orb. That's
Very
quite interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fascinating. I have seen them now 3 times, and all 3 times they have been on a walking path, standing guard, watching us.
Wow. So it's almost like, their little surveillance camera, or, Mike Famelon puts like under the shadow the big red eye. So that's an interesting that multiple people in that field, with Bigfoot and Skunk Ape have made that kind of connection with the red orbs or the red eyes.
Yeah.
So we have David Alcorn just repping the Florida people here. He's from Florida as well.
Thank you.
And that airport, we found out, is in the Schwangunks in New York. It's actually a former airport. Now it's a bird sanctuary or a park.
Oh, okay. I have not been there to investigate. I want to.
Yeah, we have a lot of interesting
That'll be on my bucket
stuff
list
here in the Hudson Valley, between like all the historic stuff. We have the ghosts. We have a lot of Bigfoot sightings, a lot of UFO sightings. So it's really interesting.
Mothman. Yeah.
I'm a little biased on Mothman because I'm from West Virginia.
Okay.
Originally from West Virginia, so I've got a little bias there.
Well, we call this one the Conewago Phantom because it was seen in Conewago, and the people that saw it, I don't think the size of it compared to the West Virginia Mothman, but it was kind of like going over the sky, and it still had that huge red eyes and stuff, and the wingspan was quite ginormous, and it freaked people out. They were like, what the hell is this thing? So I think it's only been seen, probably less than a handful of times. So
you have to ask yourself, I'm wondering if they migrate.
That's a good question. Yeah.
And people have seen them in Chicago. People have seen, of course, in West Virginia, New York, and around. So it's like maybe they do have a migration and different times of the year, and maybe some people see them during that time.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder too, where if they're all different sides of the same coin. Like Jersey Devil has very Mothman-like properties in certain ways, and it's also a harbinger of death or a bad omen. So like, are these things just different ways of describing the same or similar kind of species, if you want to classify them as that?
And it could, it's up to interpretation. Yeah. Maybe you see an angle of it that somebody else saw a different angle and has a different description. So you don't know. And I cannot wait to get back up north and do some investigating, with my schedule and everything, and filming and everything. I try to make time for other little investigations. So
yeah. So what's your number one? If you had to pick one thing to investigate, what it would be?
My love is Bigfoot. Absolute love. However, I have a lot of fun doing paranormal investigations. Yeah. I have been growled at. I have been pushed. I have been touched. I have had all kinds of, disembodied voices. I have been hugged. And I also, something new, I spent the night in a haunted house recently after we did a modified investigation, which I'll talk about. And I went to bed, and each one of us took a different bedroom to see what would happen. And in the middle of the night, I got woken up to something cuddling up behind me, almost like a spoon.
Aww.
And I'm like, this is adorable, but you're really cold. And I look over, I said, I'm gonna, be very polite. I said, you're making me very cold, so I'm gonna ask you to get out of the bed, okay? And they did. They listened.
Yeah.
I like how
And they were kind about it.
that's so
Yeah.
funny.
But I thought that was hilarious.
It is, because it's not like, oh, you're a ghost, I don't know you. You're like, you're making me cold. Can you go away?
like, you're making me cold.
It's like, otherwise you could stay if you were like warm-blooded, it'd be
Yeah,
fine.
I'm like, it's okay. Because we had such a fun evening there. We did a modified paranormal investigation. Instead of going in with, all the stuff, asking questions, do this, do that, we invited them to our get together. We had a get together, little party in the parlor. And we brought alcohol, we brought snacks, we brought all kinds of stuff. We had cat balls setting up, we had bells, we had all kinds of the gidgy gadgets and cameras going. And we're like, we're having a party here. You're invited. Please stay. And if you like what you hear, set something off. Let us know. So we start telling funny stories. We're cracking jokes. We're singing. Cat balls are going off. Bells are going off. We're getting stuff over the meters. We're getting all kinds of stuff happen. And we're having the time of our lives, right? We're just carrying on. And this went on for about 2 to 3 hours. We're just having a party. Well, at the end of the night, we're like, did you guys have fun? And all the cat balls are going off. They're like, they had a blast.
I love that.
And, we just gave them a totally different experience than what they're used to. And then I think they felt so comfortable, one crawled in bed with me. So I was like, okay.
I love that, though, because we try to bring that to investigations. We're on that good, fun energy. Because we always say, like, who would you want to hang out with at a party? The people who are having a good time, not people who are all serious and miserable. And when I went to Hinsdale House, we treated it like that. We treated it like, we were just friendly with them. We invited them to sit down with us for pizza. And they told us, more pizza, less darkness.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a catchphrase we use amongst like the group of people who are like, oh, we need more pizza, less darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think that they enjoy it. They really have a good time.
Yeah.
Treating them like they're still here. Like I have spirits in my house that I talk to on the daily. And, I'll bring out my dowsing rods and we'll just have a nice conversation. Like, so you have a good day, and all that, just having a normal conversation helps them.
That's right. Not
feel so alone.
Yes. There's a story from, I did what's called a haunted, spirits and spirits tour type of thing in Alaska. And one of them, it's the second tower of the Captain Cook Hotel, kind of a more well-to-do hotel that's, got a really haunted bathroom on the bottom floor. And back in I think it was like the 1950s when they were having this big celebration of the opening of that tower. This woman, to this day, they still don't know who she was. She went into the last stall and since then it's been very, very haunted. People, like women, have gotten their legs pulled from behind the toilet, which is not possible. They've been in there alone and seen like hands grab the stall door and like shake the door and stuff like that. And so the manager that was there about 20 years ago, I don't know if she's still there or not, but she said, I just made it a point because she was scaring all of my hotel guests. So I just made it a point to start going in there. And I told this woman things that I've never told a living soul ever. And then at the very end of my conversations, I would just say, okay, we're going to have a good day today. Please don't scare my guests. And I hope you're doing all right. And that like made the activity kind of dwindle down. She's like, guests weren't getting terrified, literally peeing their pants type of thing, So
literally, I mean, that would scare the heck out of anybody.
Exactly.
Goodness.
Yeah. And I went in there by myself and I left my husband sitting outside and I was trying to get something and I was getting nothing at all for about a half an hour. And then at the very end, I was heading out of the bathroom and I stopped and I said, I am so sorry for whatever happened to you that you felt like there was no other out. and this wave of energy just came over me, and I felt in such desperation. It literally, like, I've never felt this bad before. It was awful, and I just burst in tears. Like, I think she was sending me like the feelings that she had before she did that to herself, and it was so powerful, and just made me really like step back and think, and then I just quickly bawling my eyes out. I'm just like, thank you so much, and I walk out, and my husband's sitting there going, what's the matter? And I'm like, nothing, we just have to go.
It's incredible when you have that connection, because I think, I had learned, and I learn every time I go out and do any investigation, I learn so much. And one time we were out investigating Bigfoot and other cryptids, and we came across this abandoned shack where we had a psychic medium with us who said that there is a young man that was lynched, and his spirit is around. He's not stuck, but he still hangs around with his sister. So we went down there, and I said, are you Clarence? Yes, I had my dowsing rods, and we were talking, and I was asking some questions, and it turns out he had a learning disability, and he was playing with some kids that he wasn't supposed to, and the parents got angry, and this was well over 150 years ago, and they came and they lynched him. And his sister had to watch it, and it was devastating. And I was there with 3 other people, 2 of which are not paranormal investigators. And I said to him, I want to let you know how sorry I am that happened to you. Just know that, we are so sorry. I feel for you. And this should have never have happened. You're a good, young man. And once I was saying that and kind of confirming, he rushed through me and rushed through each and every person that was there. That cold kind of whoosh and that energy. And I've had that happen before. So I was like, okay, I know what that is. The 2 people that have never done any paranormal investigation, the man broke down crying. And the woman was like, what just happened? And so I'd explained to them what happened. I'm like, that was their way of acknowledging that I'm here, and they appreciate the fact that we are here and understand that we're not there to harass. So after that, the gentleman couldn't even go out and investigate that night. He was shaken, not in terror, but overwhelmed with emotion.
It's very powerful.
And it is. It's incredibly powerful. And I mean, I remember the first time it happened to me, I was like, whoa, what was that? Now I'm used to it. And it's kind of like, it's acknowledgement.
It's like a little ghost.
And so I told,
thank you.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, we want you to know you're good. You have a good spirit and everything, and nobody's going to harass you. And so we left there on good terms, in a good energy.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
You mentioned you use dowsing rods a lot. OPR8R operator? Is that what that says?
I think that's what it is. So. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this person says, I really have to try dowsing rods, especially my theory that different metals may allow easier communication. Do you have like how did you pick your dowsing rods? Do you have a specific pair that you were attracted to, or like did the metal come into play at all?
I just like the copper ones. Yes. I mean, nothing fancy at all. I know you can get the fancy ones. I don't. But you have to really be mindful when opening and closing a session, because you're opening up a channel to talk to somebody. And so what I normally do, and it's just for me, I swing the rods. I say, I'm opening up the session in God's light, love, and protection, covering us with the blood of Jesus. And I start the session. When I close the session, I announce it, and I say, I'm closing the session in the God's light, love, and protection, covering us with the blood of Jesus. And I close the session because I don't want anything else. And I let them know. In my house, they already know, but outside my home, I'm like, no negative entities are allowed in or around us. Yeah. If you're negative, you need to stay away.
Yeah.
We only talk to positive, good spirits. And so I've always had a really good experience, but I used them while we were doing Bigfoot investigating to ask the spirits of the forest, because there was a lot of battles and a lot of wars there, where's the hairy man at? And they pointed, and we would go and we went around because it was a big property, and we mapped it out. They were all pointing in this one direction. We went down there and they confirmed they're in this forest. There's less than 5. It's a family unit with a juvenile.
Wow.
And so later that night, we heard them. We set up microphones and we just sat around a little campfire. We didn't do anything. We didn't want to startle them since there was a juvenile with them. And we heard on the microphone them, and they were just breathing as they're moving. And it was really a cool vibe. I was like, this is so awesome. And you felt their energy projecting from the forest as they're going by. They were like crawling by, and we can hear them. We couldn't see them because the forest was so thick, and we didn't want to, scare them or anything.
Yeah.
So we were just singing and having a good time, and they went about their business.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
Have
awesome.
you experienced like the Bigfoot mind speak kind of thing that some people talk about?
Not yet. I want to so bad. And whenever I go in for an investigation, I really meditate and I pray, and I'm open to any form of communication. And I think once you have that mind speak happen, it's on a level of trust that they trust someone. I know people that have had the mind speak that have been going into the same forest for a very, very long time, that have never been aggressive, have always been respectful of the land and the forest and everything around them. And then they will have mind speak happen. The moment that they become disrespectful in any way, mind speak stops.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because I feel like I might be totally off base, but with all the people that I've talked to Bigfoot wise, it's almost like a frequency thing. Like you have to vibe at the right frequency to like encounter them, because you'll be standing right next to somebody and you'll see them and they won't.
Right. You have to be able to be very calm and very open. And I also do a lot of praying beforehand. And I pray that I do see something, but nobody gets hurt. And knock on wood, nobody has gotten hurt. We've seen a lot. So it was really, I protect myself with bear spray, but I also protect myself spiritually as well. I'll usually have salt in my shoes and in my pockets.
Stephanie does the whole
whether it be
witchy thing. Like I'm much more of the like equipment and statistics, but it does have validity because it's been around for a long time, so there has to be something to it.
Yeah. I like to say
So
I
in fact, I have
in some of the witchy stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's wonderful. I do as well. Nothing wrong with it. I think it's you have your spells, you have prayer, you have manifestations. I think it's all intertwined in some way. Yeah.
I mean, I communicate telepathically with spirits, so it's kind of along the same lines, and just like you said, you have to come in from a place of respect, and and I do the same thing kind of. I basically open myself up for however they want to communicate. If they want to show me images or talk to me, if they want to give me sensations, or have me just write things down and show me things, like because I don't know like their level of how they're able to communicate, and so I want to make it as easy as I possibly can for them. So but you're right, as soon as there's disrespect, they're gone. They are right out the door. They're like, nope, I'm done. And it's not even, that I'm being disrespectful. If it's somebody else being disrespectful, they're like, I'm not going to be here and put up with this,
Right. And, and I think that works both ways. If we get a spirit that's being very disrespectful, you have to just set boundaries.
Yes.
I lived with a shadow figure, who I named Shadow Dude for 8.5 years. He hung out. You know, he was just, I told him, I'm like, listen, you can hang out. And I even told him, I said, here are the rules of the house. This is what you don't do. And I said, if you feel the need to do a load of laundry or a load of dishes, feel free to. He never did. I
They don't
offered
do
it.
that
I
now.
never do. Never.
And I put it out there. I'm like, listen, I mean, if
Yeah.
you feel the urge.
Yeah.
Mhm. What is with these freeloading shadow people? Mine doesn't do anything either.
Right? I'm like, dude. I'm like, you
Yeah.
want to peek around a corner? You want to do this? You know, I'm like, come on, man.
I just, again, like I get these just images in my head sometimes when people are talking. So I'm like, all right, shadow figure like pokes out and somebody just walks up, mop and broom. Here you go.
Yeah. Come on, let's go. Dang it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because sometimes, like, even around my house, because I take in haunted items, but like sometimes I'll see like them full fledged, and then sometimes I'll just see them in shadow form. So, and I can't tell if that's either how they want me to see them or if that's the limitations of their energy that they're able to, mutate into
Yeah.
or what have you.
Yeah. You know, if that's all that they could do, God, you know, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. God bless you. You know. But yeah, I mean, I lived in a neighborhood, not right now, but when I lived in Lake Mary, Florida, the entire neighborhood was haunted. The entire neighborhood. There was not one house that did not have paranormal activity happening
So
in
it
it.
came with the land.
It
Mhm.
came with the land. And we believe because the Seminole Indians were in and around this area, we do feel that there were unmarked graves and burials
There
that
you
the
go.
houses were built on. And there was a lot of activity, and people would come and ask me, oh no, you know, I've got this evil. I'm like, well, what happened? Well, my plant moved. No, that's not evil.
No.
They're just wanting to say hey.
Yeah, that's
That's
exactly
not,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is an interesting theory. Like, seems like everyone catches on to the energy around them given enough time. Like, if you're in enough in the area enough. Is it possible we all have spirits that attach and just hang out for a while?
My personal opinion, yes. Absolutely. For instance, I just discovered that I have a spirit that comes and visits me periodically. And I don't know if it's an attachment, so to speak, but I was like, this energy is just odd. She says she's related to me, but when I asked, are you on my mom's side or my dad's side, she wouldn't answer. And I'm like,
Mhm.
so I had a friend of mine go into the Akashic records, and she's like, that was your mother from a past life. Her name's Ingrid. It was from the 1700s. You know, she's just here to watch over you. You both were like medicine women in the forest and help people that lived in the forest heal and different things of that nature. That's why I love being in the forest. That's clearly why. And so I was like, and so after that, I'm like, are you Ingrid? And she's like, yes. I'm like, well, you're always welcome here. But I do have a friend of mine that she constantly she'll go for a little investigation and paranormal investigation. She always comes home with a spirit, no more than 3 days. They'll hang out for just a
Yes.
couple of days and they're like, okay, bye. And because she's just really one of those spirits that's just friendly and nice and outgoing. And they're like, hey, we're going to just catch a ride with you. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my RBF means that nothing ever follows me home.
I invite them sometimes. I had one where and this is before I actually joined the team. I had a lady contact me because she had a shadow figure in her house that was actually disturbing her children. It was really scaring them. They were scared to sleep alone in the room and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I said, I'll be there tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I said, you've got a river around your house. And she goes, yeah, there's actually one past, there's a tree line and there's a river down there. I said, this guy literally followed the river and he saw your son, and your son has some psychic abilities. And her son was like 6, I think. So definitely not ready for anything like this. It just
Yeah.
scared him, And interestingly enough, I came in contact with her father, who's also there, but he's like, he literally told me, like, I'm not going to help with this dude. And I'm like, this is your grandchild. And the guy, I was like, I'm sorry, like, you can't be here anymore. This isn't your home. You can't scare these children. You got to leave the kids alone and you got to leave the house. And I was like, but he needs somewhere to go. So I decided, I'm like, you can just hitch a ride with me. You can just come home with me. That's fine. And I think he stayed about a week, and then he probably was like, okay, it's just way too chaotic in her house. So he left, and I've never seen him since, But even like the
Aw.
haunted items, I'm like, you can stay, you can leave. If you want to go somewhere else, you're not bound to this object anymore. You can go as you please. So, and then I'll have, they'll be inactive for months, and then all of a sudden they'll come back. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 It does happen. And I mean, not to, and I have had people come up to me and going, I need help. This is happening and it's evil. People think it's evil. And I'm like, it's not. And they'll explain it to me. I'm like, here's what's happening. And I can
Yeah.
tell immediately what's going on. I'm like, go home, do this, this, and this. If it doesn't work, call me back. Every single time it works. I'm like, just set boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk to them as if I'm in your home and I'm doing something that you don't like. Set
Yep.
boundaries.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, and it
I
works.
realize they can do that. You can just do
Yeah.
that. We had the shadow figure in our house and it scared my son. And I was like, cool. You saw a shadow figure in the middle of the night. Awesome, bud. And it freaked him out, but I'm
He's
like,
like, I don't like
cool.
I
No.
like it.
So we set the boundaries. He's like, I just don't want to see him ever again. And he hasn't. So,
Yeah.
it works. And it's so
It's-
simple.
yeah. Setting boundaries is so easy. And, if they're hanging out, they don't know any better of what you want and don't want. So
Yep.
set those boundaries very clearly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like half the time they just want to be acknowledged. Like, I see you.
Yeah.
I know you're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's one of my, big things is in the house is, and I forgot when I first started collecting haunted things, I forgot to put rules down. And one of the dolls that somebody sent me happens to be an 11-year-old little girl named Pixie. And I was laying in my daughter's room, and we both saw the shadow figure about the size of an 11-year-old come in. And she was scared. She was little. And I was like, it's just Pixie, honey. I said, if you don't want her in your room, you can just tell her, don't come in my room. And she was, don't come in Eat Bell's room. And then you see the shadow figure literally back out the door. And I was like, oh, we got to set boundaries. So now I'm like, okay, everybody listen up. Don't go into my daughter's room. Don't show yourself to my daughter, and leave my pets alone. I'm like, the rest of the house is yours, so that's my boundaries. And you have to be of love and light to be in this house. If you're going to be negative, you're going to get out.
Right. Exactly. And, I was I think I told you guys before we started, is I had a negative spirit, a negative energy come through my microphone during one of the podcasts. And immediately I knew something was wrong. And like, I felt the energy of the spirits that are already here in my home. And I pulled out my dowsing rods. I'm like, is there a negative entity in here? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I saged, I prayed, opened the front door. I'm like, you got to go. And so I confirmed they're gone. And I'm like, that's why I burn sage before and after every podcast now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes during.
Do you think that there's like a difference between the Hat Man entity and like a shadow figure, or do you think they're just this, like, is the Hat Man just a shadow figure with a hat?
No. I've had firsthand encounters with Hat Man, and Hat Man is, in my opinion, an evil energy.
Mm-hmm.
And this evil energy, and I don't want to say entity. I don't believe it's truly an entity. I think it's just an energy that preys upon the innocent and the happy. And Hat Man decided to latch on to my son growing up. And I had to set boundaries, and Hat Man would disappear for a few months, and we'd do it all over again and again and again. And Hat Man followed us from West Virginia to Florida. And my son went to school one day, and Hat Man followed him to school and was at his school watching him in the hallway.
Oh,
So
that's not okay.
my son and my daughter went to their dad's house that weekend, and I said, you guys go to your dad's house. Me and Hat Man are going to have a little discussion. And I said, you're never going to see him again. And so I went in like Mama Bear, like on steroids. And I threatened him, and I said, you will never come near my children or my home again. And I said, if my children ever see you, I will drag you to the depths of hell for eternity myself. He never came around.
Yeah.
He's gone.
I guess-
And Paranormal Paul, he had Hat Man in his house. He thought he got rid of him. His wife, and his son went away on vacation. Neighbor came over to take care of the dog. Neighbor saw it coming up the stairs. So I think this energy just preys on innocent, happy lives. And I think that, shadow figures are shadow figures. Sometimes they're good and they just present themselves as a shadow. That's how they present themselves. That's all that they can do. Or maybe that's what they want to do. Shadow figures can also be more of a lost soul kind of thing. That's what I happened to encounter in my home. Bless his heart. He passed away tragically, and he was stuck and he couldn't move on. And it was like, okay, you're here. You don't want to move on. I don't want you really here, but we have to live together. So you just make the best of it. But yeah, Hat Man's a whole different thing.
Yeah. I've been told, like, if you come into contact with it, you don't even acknowledge it. You don't act like you've seen it. You don't talk about it at all, because that'll keep it going around. I mean, I've come into contact with spirits with hats, but I don't think it was like the actual Hat Man.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I always taught my kids, you're going to see spirits. My son has seen spirits throughout his life. My daughter also, she came down one day and she goes, Mom, there's a little boy that keeps appearing in my room. He really just sits on the edge of my bed and just looks around. And I'm like, he likes your room, because she just redecorated it and it was really bright and colorful. And I said, he just really enjoys your room. I said, just welcome him. He's fine. He showed up every night for 4 nights and then just disappeared. And I'm like, isn't that nice that he felt comfortable enough to be in your room? So they always welcome spirits in that manner. But when it's something negative, they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
And Jersey is saying, in their opinion, the Hat Man is similar to the hag or succubi, incubi.
Yeah, I think it's just disgusting. It's a disgusting entity.
Yeah, because my shadow figure is a man with a hat, but I do not think he is a hat man, because it didn't bother anybody,
Yeah. I mean, you'll have spirits with hats on and they're like, just a kind soul that just wants to hang out and have fun because your house is fun or colorful or something. But no.
Or they're mafia and they want the booze.
Yeah, right? You guys are partying. This is fun.
They do like to party, and they do like their alcohol. We always get a response whenever we're like, what's your favorite drink?
Yeah.
Yep. Bring the good bourbon.
We have like the little nips of like Fireball or bourbon or anything like in our case we'll use as a trigger object.
Yeah. I've had ones ask me for scotch, not realizing that scotch was expensive.
It is. Yeah, they like the good stuff.
They do.
Speaking of drinks, you know what we forgot to do?
Say what we're drinking.
Say what we're drinking.
Yeah.
So I have Harney & Sons Vanilla Camoro in my spooky mug.
Yay.
What do you have?
So
I have mushroom coffee.
Oh, you have mushroom coffee?
Is it the Rise one?
Yeah.
I've heard there's supposed to be some really good benefits with mushroom coffee, but I've never been bold enough to try it because I really don't like mushrooms.
I don't either.
Okay. So if you drink it alone or with one of the creamers from Rise, it tastes like crap. the Rise
Okay.
coffee with, I get a sugar-free, like Italian cream or vanilla creamer, like the flavored ones that have
That's
some
what I drink,
sweetness
is
to it.
sugar-free Italian cream.
Yeah, I put that in there and it is the best. I have it all day long. I feel better. I can breathe better. My joints feel better. There is so many benefits. And it doesn't say this on the package, but I already know this. Turkey tail mushroom does fight cancer. So I drink it all day.
Okay.
I actually really like it. I don't like mushrooms. But to me it feels more like a tea than a coffee, because I also don't like coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't
'Cause
taste like coffee.
Coffee makes me sick to my stomach. And so I drink this and it's like, it's so nice. And it doesn't upset my stomach and it doesn't give you the jitters or anything. It's good. So cheers.
That's good.
Side note, if Rise wants to sponsor us, since Harney and Sons won't, we'll take that too.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm back to drinking the Paris because I was like, I don't know which flavor to try. So I just went ahead and did my Paris. And of course, as I say every week, in my nice, beautiful little teacup that at the bottom says you have been poisoned, because it is just a fabulous cup.
That is a fabulous cup. I love that.
Mhm.
Touchofclass.com.
Very nice.
That is awesome.
Mm. Also, every week we go around and we just say something towards the end of the show good that's happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're bringing that one on you. So we'll give you a second to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie, good thing.
I'm about to sneeze.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I took Isabel to the mall today, and we've actually because I wanted to give her a nice little treat today, and so because I cleaned out a room and I tossed out like 4 bags of toys. But anyways, so I stopped at Hot Topic, and this is part of their new Summerween, and look at little ghosts with teacups.
That's so cute.
Isn't
I love that.
cute? And
Going
then
on
they have
topic.
the matching necklace. So Isabel wanted to do a best friends mommy and me necklace. So that's what we're going to put these on. So
Awesome.
yeah, they're so cute.
I'm going to Hot Topic.
I know.
So
Yeah, me too.
I love their Summerween stuff. My good thing is I had a nice weekend away over this past weekend in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
So got a little rest and relaxation. We stayed at the Tropicana, which has, I didn't know till after the fact, has a really interesting history. It used to be another hotel, and it was the setting for this like mafia mob boss conference that they had with Al Capone and a bunch of other ones to like hash out their territory.
Oh,
I wish I knew that at this time. I would have whipped my equipment out.
Oh, how cool is that?
And Harry Houdini and I can't remember his name off the top of my head at the moment, but this famous guy's wife used to do seances there, and Houdini like disproved her and discredited her at the old Tropicana Hotel.
Wow.
So, it's interesting because I'm a
That's
history
pretty
nerd.
cool. That's pretty cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have something good that happened just today. And it's also a plug. Relic Films has come out with Relic TV app that's going to be on Roku and Fire Stick.
Aww.
And so I produce a talk show called Beyond the Ordinary. So all of the episodes are going to be on there. All of our movies are going to be on there. And I'm going to be producing season 2 of, and that's going to be on there as well, of Beyond the Ordinary. And then we're starting a brand new one of Beyond Explored, which is going to be an educational piece that's going to educate people on paranormal, cryptids, UFOs, and high strangeness.
Very
Awesome.
cool. Very,
That
very
is
cool.
really, really
So
cool.
that just got launched today. Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. That's amazing.
So exciting. And
Thank you.
where can everybody find you, Relic Films, your podcasts? Anything else you want to plug?
So absolutely. Relic Films, you can find on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as Instagram. Please follow and subscribe. You can find me, Natalie Smearman, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, And, if you have any questions about anything that we do, please let us know. And we have Paranormal Among Us every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Blondes and Booze every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. So we talk about just everything.
cool.
It doesn't have to be paranormal. It can be literally anything that we talk about. So that's what we do.
Awesome.
Love that. Love this chat. I feel like we didn't even cover like half the things that we could have. We're gonna have to have like a part 2.
Yeah, the hour goes by.
Yes,
so
I would
fast.
love that. That's so much fun. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And at some point, I wanna put together too, kind of a women in the, because we have a unique perspective being women in kind of a traditionally male-dominated field. So I want to put together like a show that's kind of a panel of ladies in the spooky biz to do a show and chat about that.
That would be so much
Yeah.
fun. Yes.
Yeah. I think women don't get enough recognition in this field in particular. And I think it's important to highlight women, that do this, because there's not a lot of us.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think we have better results. And that's
I do too. I do
my
too.
Especially
opinion.
like the Bigfoot world, because you're out in the woods getting all dirty and like camping out, and they're like, that's a man's job.
No, I'm like, I'm going to go out there,
Yeah, you got Natalie over here doing like solos in the middle of like skunk ape territory. Love it. Love it. Awesome. So again,
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
So much for coming on. And we are back next week actually with Paranormal Paul. So the other half of Paranormal Among Us. There's a plug in here. It's driving me nuts.
I was going to say, we've got some events coming up. We did just do our Kestrel Tavern. That was an amazing night. If you missed it, I'm so sorry. You had to be there with our haunted objects. So that was a really good night. Last Thursday of every month, Kestrel Tavern in Kingston. We have the Jacob T. Walden House coming up on August 1st. What else do we have coming up? I know we've got a bunch of stuff scheduled.
And we have the Borland House, and Miss Brianna is our lovely host in the chat for that on September 12th, I believe it is. It's Montgomery Day. We have day tours and an overnight. So if you have to travel, no worries, because you spend the night. Brianna makes you a lovely breakfast in the morning.
Oh, she's a fabulous cook. Really.
Awesome. So on that,
makes me hungry now.
Yep. You have to say when you come up and visit us and go squatching at the old airport. Sounds like we have a plan.
Absolutely, I will. I'll bring my gear.
Awesome. All right. And on that note, we are out. We'll see you guys all back next Wednesday at 8:30.
Yeah. See you, everyone.